Did you know that 85% of the population will actually experience the end of a meaningful relationship during their lifetime? And when this happens, it feels like your world is collapsing. In fact, the truth is, millions of people around the world are going through the same heartbreak that you're feeling right now. It's one of the most agonizing experiences to be losing someone you're still madly in love with or you still have feelings for. Trust me, I've been there. So, how do you pick yourself back up when your heart is shattered? What if I told you there is a way through the pain, a way to heal, and a way to pick yourself back up again? Today, we're looking at strategies and tips on how to cope with a breakup when you are still actually in love with the other person, which makes the breakup even harder. To find the strength to walk away from someone you still love is one of the most difficult things you can do. So I'm going to share with you everything I learned along the way to help you along your journey. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's do this. So let's dive in. Hey, I'm Samantha from Love Love UK. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the channel. So if you're here with me today, you're probably navigating your way through one of the most painful times of your life, a breakup and walking away from someone you're still deeply in love with. Breakups are difficult enough, but if you're still in love with the person, it can feel almost impossible to work your way through it. You're left grappling through the paradox of loving someone that is no longer part of your life. You can find yourself replaying every moment, every smile, every I love you, and it can feel like torture. Because let's face it, for some of us, it's not just the end of a relationship, it's the end of our love story. I know how devastating it can be to end a relationship with someone you're still in love with. It can feel like ripping your own heart out and just watching it bleed. Today, we're looking at real strategies that work to help you heal and move forward. Let's face it, when you break up with someone you're still in love with, it can feel like a double-edged sword. You're feeling the pain of the relationship ending with a mixture of lingering longing for someone you still love. And that is why it can be so incredibly difficult. The first thing you need to do is allow yourself to grieve. And there is no time limit to grieving. Everybody is different. And I just want to add, it's okay to still love them. That love doesn't disappear because you've made the decision that the relationship isn't right for you. Healing is learning to live with that love in a way that no longer controls you. That's why every moment can feel like a punch to the gut. But I'm here to tell you that's all part of your healing process. Let's face it, when a breakup hits, it's not just about losing that person. It's about losing the vision of the future that you thought you would have with them. And that stings. You can feel disoriented. You can feel stuck in a loop of memories and what ifs and if onlys and have I made the right decision? Oh my God. And it can drive you bloody mental. The truth is, and this is something that helped me, ending a relationship can feel like a death. It's the death of the future you imagine with them. It's the death of all the dreams of the future you had with them. And you're left holding the fragments of what could have been. But I want you to know and understand that is a normal process. Those feelings that you are having are normal. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, but basically she was the lady who came up with the different stages of grief. So there's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And all of these apply to breakups too. You're going to find yourself swinging from these emotions like a pendulum, back and forward, every day feeling different. And again, I want you to know that's okay. This is all part of your healing process. Everything you're feeling and thinking at the moment is normal. It's okay. And it's not just me that's saying this, science backs it up. Research shows that the pain you feel after a breakup triggers the same regions in your brain as physical pain. It's why it can feel like your heart is literally breaking, because your brain is interpreting that emotional pain as a physical wound. And let me just say that again. I really want you to understand this. The pain you feel after a breakup lights up the same regions of your brain as physical pain. And that is why it can actually feel, it's almost like you can feel your heart breaking, because the emotional pain is interpreted by your brain as a physical wound. I want you to know that what we're doing here isn't about quick fixes. You really have to let yourself feel the pain. This is the first thing you need to do. Even if it feels unbearable right now, cry, talk to a friend, scream into a pillow, whatever it is you need to do, but don't push those emotions down. You need to work through them. You need to let them pass through you, because the only way out of this pain is through it. And I want you to remember that. So like I said, the first step to healing is to allow yourself to grieve. And it's not just about the crying. It's about giving yourself space for your emotions. Research really highlights the importance of this stage of grief without judging yourself or the situation, just letting yourself have those emotions. When you suppress your emotions, it doesn't make them disappear, even if you think it does. It's actually going to make them fester, and it's actually going to hinder your healing process the longer you push them down and ignore them. This is your time to grieve. The sooner you allow yourself time to grieve, the sooner you can start moving forward on your healing journey. Now, you might be tempted to numb the pain in all number of ways. Alcohol, drugs, a new relationship, one-night stands, but I'm here to tell you none of that's going to work. By suppressing your emotions, you are just prolonging the suffering. You have to face this head on. I remember how it felt when I went through my own breakup. I was stuck replaying everything and doubting everything. And it was a bloody nightmare, an absolute nightmare, which is what led me to do the research to find my way out of the pain and suffering, which is what led to this YouTube channel for those of you that don't know my story. But then one day I woke up and I realized something. I had a choice. I got to choose what happened next. I could either continue to let this breakup define me on a day-to-day basis, or I could use it to rebuild myself and come out stronger and a better version of who I am. And obviously I chose the latter, and I want that for you as well. The moment you make that choice is the moment you start loving yourself and the moment you start to heal. And I'm telling you, from the moment you make that choice, I know myself, after that, everything changes. So let's talk about some practical tips now. Number one, I want you to do the no contact rule. You're probably sick of hearing it, but that's because it works. I want you to do at least 30 days. Get a calendar, mark it down if you're struggling doing it, but you need to do at least 30 days to get any benefit from it. Now, this isn't just me saying it. Science backs this up. Research that's been done actually shows that by going no contact, you actually speed up your recovery and the healing process. So if you're serious about it, it's definitely worth doing. So please go no contact. Do yourself a favor. I know it's hard. Look, I know, but the rewards outweigh the difficulty of doing it. You have to trust me. You have to believe that. By doing it, you're going to speed up your emotional recovery by breaking the cycle of addiction to your ex. And that's what it is. It's like an addiction. It's like something you feel you can't live without, but I'm here to tell you you can. Right. Number two, I want you to get a support system in place. Again, I know I bang on about this all the time, but that's because it's important. I want you to surround yourself with friends, family, anyone who can remind you of the person you were before the relationship and the person you are. No one knows you better than these people, and it's great to have these reminders. In fact, research shows that social support can actually diminish depression and a sense of loneliness. So please get some support in place. 3, self-care. Now, I'm not just talking about taking bubble baths and getting your nails done, although these things are great as well, and I do encourage them. I'm talking about building up your sense of self-worth. One of the ways to do this is through exercise. Obviously, through exercise, you release endorphins, which are feel-good hormones for your body. And exercising really helps build confidence. So exercise, even if it's just going for a walk. Anyone who knows my story knows I name my walks my gratitude walks, and I used to use them to not only get the blood pumping and get the endorphins released, but also to say mantras in my mind and repeat things to myself every day. In every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. And it sounds silly, but honestly it works. And don't poo-poo all over it until you've tried it. Another good thing and something that really helped me is meditation. Now, if you can't do 20 minutes, you can at least do 5, 8, 10 minutes. And if you don't know how to do it, there's plenty of free meditations that you can find online. Just find one, put in your earplugs, AirPods, whatever, and just do what they say. Anyone can do that. It's not hard. Just please, just try it. You'd be surprised. Because I know what you're thinking, and I thought the same. What the bloody hell? But honestly, it was a real game changer. So please try it. Another thing, new hobbies. New hobbies will spark a sense of self-worth. All these things is about reminding yourself that you are worth the effort. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. If you made a promise to anyone else, you'd keep it. So why should it be any different for you? Okay, next one. And I know you heard it all before, but you need to distance yourself from your ex's digital platforms. Please. Now, you've probably found yourself stalking your ex's social media platforms. Be honest, it's a toxic habit. And all it's doing is deepening the wound. It's deepening the heartbreak. It's like pressing a bruise and expecting it to heal faster. Well, spoiler alert, it doesn't. According to research, stalking your ex's social media just makes how you're feeling worse. It's going to make feelings of loneliness and sadness and depression a whole lot worse every time you see a post. It's going to cause anxiety about the breakup. And let's face it, it's like reopening a wound every time. And not only that, it's the anxiety that builds up when you're doing it. You're not doing yourself any favours. So you need to distance yourself from their digital platforms, their social media platforms, their Facebook, their Instagram stories. Just stop. Just stop. Do yourself a favour. Make the choice. Stop. Oh, sorry guys, I'm struggling a little bit today. I haven't been well. That's why I look a bit rough, but we soldier on, don't we? We soldier on. So not only is it going to cause you anxiety and pain if you keep looking at your ex's social media, but like I said, it actually prolongs your recovery, your healing process. So why would you choose to do that? And this is science-based evidence. It's not just me yapping on to you, telling you not to do it. It's proven scientific research that continuing to look at your ex's social media after a breakup is going to cause anxiety, depression, feelings of sadness, loneliness. So please make the choice that's right for you and just stop. So here's what I want you to do. Unfollow, mute, or block whatever feels comfortable for you at this moment in time. Give yourself space from the constant reminders of your ex. Trust me, this isn't about being petty or being cold-hearted or bitter. It's about protecting your mental health and your emotional health and your heart and giving yourself room to heal, space to breathe, so you haven't got these constant reminders of your ex. You cannot heal in the same environment that hurt you. When we're in love, we often merge our identities with that person, don't we? Even if we go into it initially being like, no, the majority of us, our lives become intertwined. It's just the natural progression of a relationship, which is why at the moment you're feeling so lost without that other person. I get it. And it's not easy, but there is a way through it. But I want you to look at this as an opportunity to rediscover who you are. What do you love to do? What are your dreams? It's time to reconnect with the person you were before the relationship and also look to the future at the person you want to become now. The world's your oyster. This is your time to pour everything into yourself. When was the last time you did something you wanted to do? When was the last time you did something purely because you loved it? Rediscover old hobbies, find some new hobbies, take that art class you've always wanted to do, that solo trip, learn to play an instrument, get back into the gym. There's so many options. I remember after my breakup, I felt like a complete shadow of myself. I didn't know who the bloody hell I was. I didn't know what I loved doing anymore because everything was about us, not about me. But I took up some new hobbies, even things that I thought, oh my God, what am I doing this for? But I had some interest in it. And honestly, it made such a difference. Taking up some new hobbies actually felt like reclaiming parts of my soul. And when you've been in a relationship, you know, you make a compromise. That's what relationships about. But sometimes you don't end up doing what you really want to do. So this is your time to do for you. What do you love? What do you want? What are your dreams? What are your goals? It's all about you. It can be so incredibly bloody liberating. I can't even tell you. Rebuilding yourself outside of that relationship is crucial. So please try to find a positive narrative here, which is what we're going to touch on next. One of the hardest parts of breaking up with someone is a change in your routine. You've been sharing your day with them, your heart with them, your love with them, your bed with them, your goals with them, their dreams with them, everything. You've shared everything with them, and now they're not there anymore. And it does feel like it leaves some sort of a void. There's no doubt about it. What if you, instead of looking at it as a void, what about if you looked at it as a time for self-discovery? Create new habits, new goals, new dreams, all of your own. Even simple things like going for a run in the morning or reading a book at night. It isn't just about finding a distraction. It's about building a life, doing things that feel good without them. A big, beautiful, exciting life, all of your own, just the way you want it. Now we're going to talk about something that happens after a breakup. It's really easy to idolize your ex after you've broken up with them, put them on a pedestal, especially when you're still in love with them. But it's time to get real, guys. This person wasn't perfect. The relationship wasn't perfect. It's time to remember the reason why you broke up with them to start with. You must shift your perspective and keep some perspective. What lessons have you learned from that relationship? What boundaries should you have set? What things should you have not compromised on? What do you want to take forward? And what do you want to just leave behind? Start reframing your narrative. Instead of thinking about what you've lost, think about what you've gained or what you're going to gain. These are all lessons in growth, personal growth. That's what we're talking about here. The lessons, the growth, and the realization of what you want from your next relationship. How bloody exciting is that? And there is a name for this. Psychologists call this cognitive reframing. It's a way of seeing the relationship not as a failure, but part of your personal growth, part of who you're becoming, the lessons you've learned, what you can take away from it. Cognitive reframing is actually a powerful tool that they use in therapy quite often. It helps you see your experiences through a more positive lens instead of always just looking at the negative of it. And by doing this, it allows you to move forward and doesn't keep you tied to all the emotions around it. It gets rid of some of that emotional weight that can really hold you back when it comes to healing. It will definitely help. And it helps reframe any negative situation and see it through a more positive lens. Moving on from someone you love is one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. Let's not sugarcoat it. And it's okay, as I said, to still be in love with them. That love won't disappear overnight. But in time, you'll learn to hold that love in a way that doesn't cause you pain or hurt you anymore. When we go through a breakup, your heart still beats, the world still turns, life goes forward. It isn't the end of the world. It's all part of your personal growth. And as we said at the beginning of this video, millions of people around the world go through it. In fact, I think the statistics were 4 couples every second, which is just crazy to think about, isn't it? Your life's going to move forward and there's just so much more left to discover about yourself. So don't waste this time. I know it can feel impossible and it feels like the pain won't end sometimes. But every day, just take one step forward on your healing journey. Do it for yourself. Do it for your future you. You're rebuilding your heart, your spirit. But it's okay to still love your ex and let them go at the same time. Healing isn't about forgetting your ex. It's about finding peace without them. I want you to know that the road to healing, it's not a straight line. It's filled with ups and downs. And you're going to have days where you feel like shit, basically. And days where you feel like you've made no progress. But remember, you're rebuilding yourself. It's not something that happens overnight. Do you know you'll be stronger after this? Because when you've been broken, you learn to build up resilience. You really do. I wished I could articulate better just how incredible that feels. I honestly thought I was never going to get over the heartbreak of it. I really didn't. But you will. I promise you, you will. You just need to make some better choices for yourself. Healing after a heartbreak and walking away from someone you love, that journey is messy. But it's also a time to rediscover yourself. Rediscover who you are, what you want. You don't need to rush this process because it is a process. And it's okay to be where you are right now, wherever that is. This is all a normal part of the process. So what's your story? I would really love to hear from you. Drop me a comment below about your story or your journey, your healing journey, the journey you're on now. What helped you heal? I'd love to know some tips and some thoughts from others that have been through it. So just share your story in the comments below. Honestly, I read every single one of them and I will respond, and I appreciate it so much. Done myself, stuff I've been through. If this video resonated with you, hit subscribe so you can get some more videos. Everything is real and raw. It's not really about what I've been through, but it's about what I found works when you're on that healing journey. Things that I did myself. I spent 4 years researching to get myself out of suffering. And I just really want to share that with people that are in the trenches now, and just give you a lifeline and let you know there is a way out. Start rebuilding your life now and rebuilding your confidence. Let's heal together, and remember, you're stronger than you think. Thanks, guys. Bye.